Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well. So in this video, we're going to discuss Geeks for Geeks problem of the day, and today's problem is maximum possible value, and it is a medium level problem. So in this particular problem, it said that we have been given two arrays of length n. So the first array A defines the length of a stick, and the same index of array B defines the quantity of that same stick, right? So we have to use these sticks to form either squares or rectangles, and we have to form them in such a way such that the sum of all the lengths of all the sticks that are being used is maximum. So let me just directly show you with an example, and here's the first sample test case, and the answer for the first sample test case is 38. Let us discuss how it is coming out to be 38. So the first stick is of length 3 and the second stick is of length 4, then 6 and 5. And again, the first stick has the first type of stick is of quantity 2. That means we have two sticks of length 3, we have three sticks of length 4, we have one stick of length 6, and we have six sticks of length 5, right? So what we can do is we can just take the last stick and we can try to form a square out of it. So if you take 4 sticks from it, then we will be left with 2 sticks, right? And those 4 sticks would contribute 20 to the answer. So the total length would be 20. Now we cannot use this stick as at all. We cannot use this because the total quantity is itself 1. So a single stick cannot be used to form a rectangle, neither a square, right? Now we have this particular stick. If we take 2 sticks from here and 2 sticks from here, then the total length will be 5 plus 4 into 2, right? That is 18. Now we cannot use this particular stick as well because this stick is of we have one stick of this type, we have one stick of this type, we have 0 sticks of this type, and we have 2 sticks of this type. So we cannot form again neither a rectangle nor a square. So the total answer would be 20 plus 18, and that would be 38. So this would be the best possible answer we can form in this case. Now we see that the very first observation is that to form a square we need at least 4 sticks. To form a rectangle we need at least 2 sticks of 2 types, right? So the first type stick should be at least 2 and the second type stick should be at least 2. So one approach of solving this particular question is like first trying to form the squares, and then with the remaining sticks we form the rectangles. So the basic idea is, since we need more number of sticks to form the squares, we form the squares first, and then from the remaining sticks we form the rectangles. But I'll give you an example test case of where this approach can go wrong. So for example, if we have one stick, a stick of length 1, and we have 4 number of sticks of this type, and we have 2 sticks of length 10. So if we try to form a square from this particular stick, then we will be left with 0 sticks of this type, and the total length would be 4. So one here, one here, one here, one here. So the total length would be 4. Now we are just left with 2 sticks of this type, so we cannot do anything. But instead, if we try to form a rectangle using both of these sticks, what we'll have is we'll have 10 here, 10 here, 1 here, and 1 here. So the total length would be 22, which is the most optimal answer in this particular case. So we see if we try to form the squares first, then it is not a very optimal approach, right? We might lead into some cases where the answer is not optimal. So what we instead do is we just try focusing on forming the rectangles. Why? Because this is also a rectangle, right? Even if all the sides are equal, this is also a rectangle. It's just that it's a special case of rectangle which we call a square, right? So square is nothing different, it's just a special case of a rectangle. Now what will that is, so that is why we will try to form rectangles instead. How do we form those rectangles? For example, if we have 3 sticks of length x, y, and z, and let their value be, let their quantity be a, b, and c, right? So the first stick will contribute a by 2 pairs, the second stick will contribute b by 2 pairs, the third stick will contribute c by 2 pairs. Now to form a rectangle, for example, if I want to form a rectangle, I need 2 pairs of sticks, right? I need 2 pairs of sticks. Then to form the second rectangle, I need 4 pairs of sticks, right? In total, I need 4 pairs of sticks. 2 here, 2 here, so the total number is 4. So I see whenever I want to form a rectangle, I need even pairs of sticks, right? So what I can do is I can just add initially, I can just take all the values in my answer. So if x can form a by 2 pairs, I can consider it in my answer. If y can form b by 2 pairs, I can consider it in my answer. If z can form c by 2 pairs, I also consider it in my answer. Now if I have even number of pairs, then definitely I have already considered all of them in my answer and I have no problem. But if I have odd number of pairs at the end, if I have odd number of pairs at the end after considering all the values, then definitely I will have to remove one of those pairs from the values I have taken. Now the question is, which value should I neglect? Among all these values, for example, if x was the minimum, then I should remove a pair from the value of x with the value x, right? So what I'll do is I'll do by answer minus is equals to x into 2. Why x into 2? Because I have counted their contributions in pairs, right? So if I want to remove a pair of x, that means I have to remove 2 sticks of x of length x, right? So that is why I remove x into 2. Now while adding the answer, what I would have done is, for example, if a stick has length y and it has b number of sticks, so it can form b by 2 pairs, right? So each pair would have y into 2 contribution, right? Because each pair would have 2 sticks of y length, like this. This is of y length, this is of y length. So if I have b number of pairs and each pair would have a contribution of y into 2, then this would be my total contribution by a particular type of sticks. At the end, if I find out that the number of pairs, that the total number of pairs that are being contributed are odd, then I can just simply subtract it from my answer. So I'll have to take the minimum value into 2, right? So this would be the final approach of my solution. Let me just discuss it quickly once again. So what I initially thought was, I can use squares first to find out the maximum number of the maximum contribution I can have. I can just form squares first, and then from the remaining sticks I can form rectangles. But I have clearly seen that this is not a very optimal approach in certain cases. So what I do is I just try to form rectangles instead, realizing that square is also a special form of rectangle, right? So to form a rectangle, I need 2 pairs of sticks, right? So one pair would be the, let's say, height, and the other pair would, this is the height, and the other pair would contribute to the width, right? So I need 2 pairs to form a rectangle. For each of those sticks that are present in my input, I just try to count the number of pairs it will contribute. So since it will contribute a by 2 pairs, b by 2 pairs, c by 2 pairs, I just try to count the number of pairs and include it directly in my answer. So if this particular stick can contribute b by 2 pairs and each pair has this particular contribution, I add it to my answer. Now at the end, I already know that I need even number of pairs. But if I have odd number of pairs with me right now, I can remove one pair out of it. Now which pair to remove is the next question. I'll remove the pair with the minimum value. So while counting the pairs, while adding it to my answer, I also maintain a variable which had the minimum value of all these values x, y and z. I can just subtract minimum by 2 from my answer in case the number of pairs are odd. So this would be the final approach. Let me just show you the code now. So I've initialized 3 variables, count, minimum and answer as their default value. So the count and answer would be 0 and minimum value should be a very big value. Now I just run a loop from 0 to less than n. In this case, what I do is I just do b of I by 2. So this would give me the number of pairs of that particular type of stick, right? So this is the number of pairs and this is the contribution of each pair, right? So I have added this particular value to my answer. Now if b of I is greater than 1, that means if my current stick is contributing at least one pair to my answer, what I'll do is I'll just find my new minimum as minimum of the already value which is the minimum and the current value or the current length of the stick, right? Now I just increment my count variable by the number of pairs this particular stick is contributing. So b of I by 2 as here is the number of pairs that the particular stick is contributing, right? At the end, after this for loop is completed, if the number of pairs that I currently have is odd, that means I need to remove one pair from my answer. So that one pair should be the minimum pair, the minimum length of the stick multiplied by 2 since each pair has 2 sticks in it. Now after I have subtracted it, I can just return my final answer. So this would be the solution for today's problem of the day, maximum possible value. I hope you guys were able to understand the solution. If you guys did, then you can show your appreciation by dropping a like on this video. And you can also subscribe to the channel. It's always free of cost. And if you don't find the videos interesting later, you can always unsubscribe. So till the next video drops, keep coding, stay safe, bye bye.